Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Tuesday night. We love our monthly Women in the Bicycle Industry events, and we like to see familiar faces, new faces. I'm Heather Mason. I'm the NBDA president. I'm joined by my my colleague, Rochelle Scouten, NBDA development director. I was trying to come up with a better name for you, something fancy, but I just had nothing. We've been hosting these women's monthly events in order to unite the industry, inspire women who are looking to join our industry or already in our industry. The hope is that you leave with a little nugget, a piece of information you didn't know, something that's relatable, perhaps that you can share. And before we get going, introduce today's guest, Rochelle. Anything in the tech that you want to note to everyone?
Just that we love to see your smiling faces. So hello, hi. Also that we love talking to each other during, but we ask that you respect people while they're talking. So keep yourself muted unless you're ready to speak. And I think other than that, we're good to go.
Awesome. Rochelle is a Zoom wizard, so I always let her kind of take the lead on that one. So I want to introduce today's guest, Dawn Piech, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, so she'll hopefully correct me if I'm wrong, but founder of International Women's Day, Together We Ride. Welcome, Dawn.
Hi, thank you, Heather, and thank you, everyone.
So nice to have you here, and it's an honor to share this conversation. I've been following what you've been doing for the couple of years, and I personally have some questions I thought I would ask before we dive in. Could you just give us some background on how you fell in love with cycling and where like the passion of the sport comes from?
Yeah, I've actually always been an athlete growing up, but I fell in love with cycling in 2010 and started out kind of small, and then just from there started to build miles each year, and then just really fell in love with it. The sense of community, the sense of adventure and friendships, I made throughout these last 10 years have been pretty amazing. So, but it just lead with my heart, and it just takes you so many great places.
I mean, yeah, wow. And now we have International Women's Cycling Day because of you, because of that passion, like super applause for that. And I know you have a presentation, so I don't want to take too much, but can you just tell us how and when you decided that you wanted to start? And I hope I'm not giving this away if it's in your presentation, but where'd this come up, International Women's Cycling Day, to start this, a day dedicated?
Yeah, actually, I'll talk a little bit. I'll just give you a little snippet because I do wanted to share that. But there were probably three big moments intersecting from 2015 to 2019 that really brought me and the organization to where it's at today. So I will say, and I'll share that in the presentation. So I don't want to get, I want to hold you all in suspense. So
I love it. I love it. I was like, I'm sure I'm going to just give it away. All right. So I guess let me just turn it over to you. And as Rochelle said, we can put questions in the chat. We can ask them at the end. We'll just kind of go with it and see how it works. Yeah, but feel free to chat away as she's presenting and, talk amongst ourselves in the chat too. Dawn, all over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Well, thank you all for this opportunity. I want to thank the National Bike Dealers Association, the members, industry leaders, retailers, cyclists, and guests. I'm very excited to be here today to share International Women's Day, Together We Ride. Okay, just to give you a little bit of agenda, I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of International Women's Day first. I'm going to explain what Heather was asking. How did this start? Where was the seed planted? I'll then go into year one, the first year, which was 2020, explain some of the results we found that year. I'll then talk about 2021, which was last year during the global pandemic and the exponential growth that we saw. And then I'll talk about year three and some of the wonderful additions that we've added to this year. In addition, I'll explain to you how you guys can get involved, some of the resources we've put together this year for you to participate, some of the commemorative items that we have for people if they're interested, and then talk about partnership, sponsorship, and collaboration opportunities for each and every one of you. And then last, we'll give you some references on how to contact us and then open up for questions. International Women's Day, actually, this year we celebrate the 111th year of the day, so it's been around for a long time. It's celebrated annually on March 8th. The first one was celebrated in 1911, and it actually started in France, Germany, and Austria. Interesting enough, in the United States, it began 8 years before the 19th Amendment was ratified. Basically started as a campaign for women's rights all around the world. And it's really evolved into this day to celebrate the socio-economic and political achievements and athletic achievements of women, not just in the United States, but around the world. It's basically a rally for worldwide gender equality. And this year, the theme they've chosen is Break the Bias. But the history of International Women's Day, it's important to really go back and understand some of those people that really stood out in my mind as I really researched this. And if you look at, in 1890s, the bicycle was really a catalyst for the early women's movement. For the first time, when the bicycle was introduced, we had access to transportation, which then allowed women to be more self-reliant and more independent. As it evolved from just transportation into more of a sport, you began to see more of these images of women on bicycles. They began to compete in cycling and really just trying to find equality with men in the sport. So again, the picture that you see here, this actually is Tessie Reynolds. Tessie Reynolds is actually an English cyclist, and she set the world record in 1893, cycling from Brighton to London and back in 8 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, so that's 120 miles, 190 kilometers, and she rode, as you can see, a man's bike. So this was one of those moments that really highlighted the women's rights movement. Again, moving forward, I'd like to highlight someone else, KITTIE KNOX. In 1893, she was the first African-American accepted into the League of American Wheelmen in Boston. In 1895, she challenged the color bar and really asking questions about inclusion, diversity, and acceptance. She was a member of the Riverside Cycling Club, the first Black cycling club, and a true pioneer in cycling. She placed in the top 20% of every ride she completed, many of which were at least 100 miles long. Pretty amazing. But you asked me, when did this start for me? Well, I think the first thing that was important for me was in 2015. I actually, as I said in the beginning, I started cycling in 2010, and I was introduced to randonneering, which is self-supported long-distance cycling, in 2014. 2015, I completed Paris-Brest-Paris, which is a 1200K grand randonnée from Paris to Brest and back. I went there though, and when I was signing up and looking around, there wasn't many women. If you look at some of these events, you have maybe 5% of women participating. But every time I walked around through the beginning, I tried to find the women and take photos with them. As you can see, Lydia on the left was from Poland. The woman on the right was from Italy. We didn't speak the same language, but we had community. We gave each other hugs. And again, this was the first kind of seed that was planted. So after Paris-Brest-Paris, between 2016 and 2019, every year I completed a solo ride at International Women's Day. Again, it was kind of my way from the seat of my bicycle to really recognize the achievements of women, not just on a bike, but in all aspects of life. And I kept thinking every year, why am I doing this by myself? Maybe I should invite some friends. So around 2018, what happened as I began questioning this, I actually was introduced through social media and through the internet to KATHERINE BERTINE. For those of you in cycling, many know her. She's a former professional cyclist. She's a social activist. She's an author and a documentary filmmaker. She has many books out, and I started reading her books, As Good as Gold, The Road Less Taken, and recently Stand. I watched Half the Road. Again, an amazing documentary on inequality in cycling. And I became really inspired. That in combination to see what she was doing with HOMESTRETCH Foundation, which is a non-for-profit organization founded in 2017 to basically give female cyclists and pro cyclists the means to compete, I was really inspired. So again, I really liked her vision of philanthropy, equality, and community. If you go on her website, it explains that, you know, it was time to address the salary inequity. The global gender gap, women only make 2/3 of what men make in anything. It's not equal. But yet before we start to change in other parts of the world, we have to start with what we know locally and what we know personally. And that's what I did. So I took this forward. I went to my bike club and I said, I ride with a local group in the greater Chicagoland region, the Elmhurst Bicycle Club. And I said, we were riding in the winter and we started a bi-weekly winter outdoor rides every Wednesday and on the weekends. And this was in 2019 to March of 2020. But I took it a step further. I thought, well, what can I do in my little community to raise money for HOMESTRETCH? So I basically put a challenge out to my cycling club. I said, show up and ride. Here's 2 rides every Wednesday evening and Sunday afternoon. Everyone that shows up, you just have to show up and ride. But everyone that would show up, I would donate money towards HOMESTRETCH. For every woman that showed up, I donated $1.66. For every male, I donated $1. And it was a great sense of movement. There was community, everyone showed up, and it was pretty amazing. So from November of 2019 through March 2020, we raised $704.70 with a total of 21 rides. Again, this is the Midwest. This is the winter. 50 riders came out. So it was just a great movement. And that was kind of the second movement that took place. Again, giving back by moving forward, but move forward by giving back. And that's just what we did. So again, the lack of representation at Paris Press Paris, connecting with KATHERINE BERTINE and HOMESTRETCH, and then the Be the Change Winter Cycling Challenge, it was the perfect fertilization of the seeds. We had a few local rides with our local bike shop, and we had some rides to celebrate Women's Equality Day. And it was really well attended. Women would come out, and these were women only rides, and they were like, how can we do more? So we tried to really get the community and build on that. And it was fun. And again, we started out small, but we all had the same vision. We all wanted to move forward together. There was no boundaries. We were all in it together. So I took that moving forward and I thought, how can we build on this? And so I started the inaugural International Women's Day Together We Ride in 2020. I took the ideas I had from 2015 forward. I hired a graphic designer, Umbrella Works. I hired a company to produce patches, and basically thought if we can produce some kind of commemorative item for people to ride on this day, we could support the event. But the first year, what we did is we had 3 distances to qualify. We had a 25-kilometer distance, which is 15 miles, a 50-kilometer, which is 31 miles, and then the longest distance that year was 100 kilometers, which is 62 miles. And I'll explain why we had those distances in just a second. But basically, the format for the first year was just riding on International Women's Day, which was on a Sunday. Any of those 3 distances, you didn't have to pay, you just showed up, you rode, and if people wanted to, they can purchase a persistence patch of honor. Those are available to everyone, international and in the US, for $10, which includes shipping. Not everyone purchased it, but it was out there if you were interested. But something else that happened that was important to the growth this year, again, as I talked about, I did Paris Press Paris, and I'm part of a bigger community of cycling, in addition to the local cycling club I belong to. I'm basically a member of Randonnoeurs USA, which is a long distance, unsupported endurance cycling in the United States. And it's a very open self-sufficiency and camaraderie support where you do long distance rides. As I talked about, Paris Brest Paris, there's other events out there, but this was really helpful in bringing people on board and sharing it with a bigger community than my local community within the greater Chicagoland. And this was also very, very important. So I went to the leaders in my organization and said, hey, do people want to do a ride? Let's do this together. And from the responses I sent out, I had 10 regions throughout the United States that said, we'll host a ride. And so as you can see, we had 10 regions again, and then it grew from there. So this was very important. The results were really amazing. In the first year, we had 10 regions within Randonneurs USA. We had approximately 275 to 300 people participating with international representation from Australia, France, India, and the United Kingdom. In addition, we had representation from 19 states in the United States, as you can see there. So again, it was pretty exciting. The picture on the left is a group, they've been with us since 2010. It's the British Cycling Ride Leaders, the CCC crew. And on the right, you have a group in Wisconsin, Driftless Randonneers, participating in the first year's ride. We were all united. No matter where we were at, we were all moving forward together. We started a public Facebook group to get more people involved, which helped get the movement going. And then we started planning the next year. So again, the same format, I hired the same production team for the graphic designs. You can see the logo there for last year. I, in addition, used Falls Creek. I hired a designer for patches and stickers, but then I added some team members, which was very important to the growth of the organization. Some local ride leaders, women advocates, and just the same passion I had to grow. So that really helped build on that in the second year. Again, the format for the second year, very similar to the first year. But what I did is tweak it. I thought, let's not have 3 distances. Let's say any distance counts. We want to be inclusive. We want to be inclusive to the person that has a stationary bike in their basement, or the mom with her child that can just go down the street or around the block, or people that can't ride 15 miles. So we opened it up to any distance counts. We also then expanded the swag. We had a patch, we had a buff, this like the one I'm wearing today, and some stickers. We put together an empowerment package, which included all 3 items. And again, this was open to everyone, including those in the Randonneering USA community. And again, just to show you a little bit more of what we had, each year we try to change the patch, keep purple in the patch or a variation of purple. And you can see the patch in the second year, which was just so important because this is the last ride before COVID hit. So but it was showing the sun coming up, which I thought was pretty amazing. So for 2021, we had 5 regions within Randonneers USA participating. We had tripled our participation to approximately 900 people. Our international representation, which you can see on the right, is Riza Rusinas from Lithuania, increased from 4 to 11 countries: Lithuania, Portugal, Dubai, Trinidad and Tobago, South Africa. Again, it just exploded. Our representation in the United States went from 19 to 33. So again, it was just so amazing in a year that was so hard with COVID and the pandemic to have this sunshine. And it was really amazing. And we don't discriminate and we don't have boundaries for age. We had the youngest individual on the left, Jax, who was 8 months old on his Strider bike. And on the right, we have a member with the Lawn State Randonneers riding with a group who was 94 and rode with her daughter on her tandem. Again, this is a movement for everyone. It's about inclusivity. It's about equality and diversity. From all the way from Chicago to the Netherlands, we are opening the doors to everyone. We want people to participate. So as we looked and grew to this year, we're doing the same format. Any distance counts, any terrain, indoor, outdoor. You can do it solo, you can do it in a group. What we're doing though, we expanded the days for participation to allow for weather and for people to have flexibility. So from Saturday, March 5th through Tuesday, March 8th, which is actually International Women's Day, that's when you can ride. We have the same, we have the Persistence Patch of Honor, a gator, participant patches, and stickers for those that are interested. But again, it's open to everyone. And just to show you, on the left, you'll see the 3 participant patches. On the right is the Persistent Patch of Honor that are available if people want to purchase those. We have some stickers. I mean, who doesn't like stickers? Throw them on your water bottle, put them on your car, put them on your Yeti. And then we have a patch, our really, really innovative patch that talks about kind of our theme: hope, equality, perseverance, and respect, and the colors of this year available for purchase. In addition, last year we had a meditation session presented by Adina Crawford. We're also bringing that back this year. We're going to actually have 2 sessions. We're going to have a session on Sunday, March 6th at 6:30 p.m. and then Tuesday, March 8th. Everyone's invited. Anyone who attends the meditation sessions will be entered in a raffle to win an art piece made by our own local artist, Mary Ellen Reedy, is donating 2 pieces of art. So we're going to raffle those off. Very exciting, and stay tuned for more details about that. So as I said, there's a lot of great things going on. What's new in 2022? We have a lot of stuff. We have an official 501c3 status. We have a new website with a store. We have a new Instagram account, #TogetherWeRide1. We have a new Twitter account, @TogetherWeRide1. And we have a new group Strava account, Together We Ride Inspired Movement. So a lot of different ways to get connected with people. In addition, I want to inspire, and my team, we want to inspire you to ride for a woman's cause on International Women's Day. This is a great PDF we had last year. We're bringing it back this year. It's available on our website. I'll get it to everyone. We want you to ride for someone who inspires you. You can fill this out. You can put it on your ride. Who do you ride for? Who inspires you? Or ride to raise money for a local women's shelter or organization. I encourage you, contact your local police to see there's people that we can help. And then lastly, ride to support a local woman's own business. And there's avenues to find that out. More importantly, I would encourage you to support your women-owned bike shops. Make a donation and support them. There's approximately 7,000 bike shops in the United States. Of those bike shops, I believe from the statistics I received, only 7 are women-owned. We need to encourage these women-owned bike shops. We need to help them. And again, I encourage women-owned businesses. If we can do this, we can do it together. So how can you get involved? Come and join our empowerment movement. The bike is the medium and the way to connect. So I ask you, host a ride or event in your area. It can be indoors, it can be outdoors. Share this with your friends, with your family, any organizations that you feel are aligned with our movement. Print and share. We have a PDF that has QR codes on there, which is on our website. Hang that up at your gym. Share it at your workplace or with your friends. Put it on your social media. People can scan and go directly to the website, the Facebook, the Strava, and the Twitter account. So there's on our website, I just wanted to show you, there is actually, if you go to our website, which is www.inspyrdmovement.org, you'll see there's a Together We Ride page that you can go under and click on this year, and it has a link to all these documents I've just went through with you. So there's a raffle. You can share your ride with us. You can download the graphics from this year and put it on your Facebook page, your Instagram, your event, and become a partner or sponsor with us. There's a lot of opportunities that we welcome. We are a 501c3 status now. We are accepting donations, any in-kind donations. We also have corporate and individual sponsorship and partnership levels. So again, be part of our movement. But our hope for Together We Ride is basically very simple. A world free of bias and stereotypes, a world free of discrimination, a diverse world, an equitable world, and a very inclusive world where we value difference and we celebrate it, because together we can forge women's equality, because together we ride. Come join us. Email us. We're here for you, iwdbike@gmail.com, and our website is located there. We're here for you. We want to bring you along. For those that participated in the past, thank you, and we hope you come again. For those that are new, join us, because it's going to be a great ride in year number 3. As you can see, if you go to the Facebook, there's amazing photos that people shared over the last few years, and I would just encourage you to go there. They're so inspiring. We have just a great community. I was contacted the other day by the Cycling Federation of Trinidad and Tobago. They're back this year. Again, we're just continuing to grow. So just pass the word along, be part of the change. So I'd like to thank you, and thank you for this opportunity.
Dawn, that was an incredible presentation. I had no idea about the history of International Women's Cycling Day and the role that you played and just all the ways that we can be involved. I am just speechless and so appreciative you took the time to put that together for us. I want to turn it to any questions that anyone might have for you. Anyone have any questions? Thanks, Rochelle, for sharing some links in the chat.
Come on, Bueller,
I
come
know,
on.
you were so thorough. I mean, sometimes this happens when you're just like so on it, you know?
Yeah.
So March 8th, and all the resources are available. Go to the website. I can't believe all the things how many people are working with you, Dawn? Like, is it just you, or what's the team like?
Yeah, it's a great question, Heather. The first year was just me, but I have to say, I'm going to open it up to my teammates, Sherry Rosenbaum, Kim Messina, and Kelly Morgan, and I'll open it up to the floor if I think a few of them might be on this call to kind of elaborate as well.
Yep, I'm here. Great presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Sherry. And it's been great to really get some women on board to really help this grow. And again, they've really helped. It's a team effort. You know, we've all worked together. And again, we're welcoming. We want everyone to get on board to help us grow this. I mean, everywhere, if connections within your workplace. I had, one of our members works for Xerox and has a woman in India who just connected, and we sent her some patches. I mean, the more we can do to get everyone on bikes on this day to celebrate. And again, not just women, men, boys, people that support women. It's for everyone. I would encourage all of us to kind of unite and just really get the word out.
I'd like to ask the people on the call, has anybody hosted a International Women's Day ride in the past?
Well, that's a great question.
No, not yet, but we've been talking about, I think, Heather, we had an event sometime talking about women's only rides. Did we talk about that at one of our Monday mingles or something? Oh yeah, trying to get how shops can integrate with the community, right? And bringing more women aboard. So I have talked to the shops here in Hickory. We have 3. One of them is half owned, so it's a husband and wife team, and it's half owned by a woman, Angie Lambert, and her husband Lanny, who's a kick-ass rider. But anyway, there's been some interest. The one place I'm having a tough time with actually is there's another bike shop that's mostly a mountain bike shop, does very well known in the, not just in Hickory, but in the surrounding area. But I'm just having a tough time. And there's a woman who works up front. She's actually the one who said, don't make pink jerseys, make blue. I said, okay, went home and changed up my design. And anyway, it's just how to bring them on. And, obviously I'm a guy, right? You can tell by my haircut that, how do we bring, as a guy, we've been talking about women's issues in cycling and in the cycling industry, and really a big problem, a big linchpin to that is men and how men behave, and how they can help bring women aboard. And so I'm not talking about pandering, it's just about how to make that more accessible. So anyway, yes, I'm going to be working on that. I took notes here, and I will get in touch with our shops here and see if we can get a women's only ride going, and then to work it around this specific day, March 8th, or, you know, sometime during that week, I think would be terrific.
I love
Yeah,
that.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Dawn.
I think, yeah, you know, before I did bigger rides, we did women specific rides, which were well attended and smaller. And that was you bring up a good point there, Bruce, about, you know, having women only and stuff, and there's a lot to be said about that, a sense of community, especially doing group rides with women. But the positivity I've seen from the men in my local region and randonneering and stuff, and just embracing, a lot more can be done. In addition to having woman-only led rides, is really bringing everyone into the mixture. And some of the, I'd encourage you to go to the Facebook page and see the last few years. I mean, there's photos of just a man going out and riding for his daughters. I mean, it's just everyone celebrating the achievements of women on this particular day. So it's pretty inspiring. And if there's anything our team can do to help bridge that with maybe this bike shop, we'd be happy to have a dialogue with them if we could.
Okay.
You know,
In the first year, I did one out of the bike shop I work with. I don't work for them. And we had over 40 people, and it was a combination of men and women. And the men were very well behaved. They weren't trying to push the pace. It was a great time. So consider making it a co-ed, but just market it as a no drop.
Mhm.
Hey, Dawn, it's Jillian. I think we've been emailing back and forth a little bit at BFF
Oh, yeah,
Bikes.
Jillian. Yeah.
Hi. So yeah, we're having a couple of events for the Women's Day ride. One on the Saturday and one on the Sunday. One outdoor and one indoor, hopefully. So, and then we're doing some promotion of it at we've been doing like this fireside chat every month on gravel racing. So I have Kai Takashita coming and talking. So I'm gonna try and focus that chat towards getting more women in biking and gravel riding, and we'll talk about the event. So hopefully we'll see some reaction from that.
Yeah, and thank you, Jillian. In fact, I want to say, I don't know if your shop and your name was ringing, because I had contacted Heather to ask about how many women-owned bike shops, and I know BFF Bikes is one of the 7. And thank you for what you guys do and the other shops that do supporting women-owned bike shops. And
yeah, and I 100% agree about, you know, having a place where women can go without feeling intimidated. It's amazing.
Mhm.
It is awesome. It is so great. I love this. I love this presentation, and I love to know that there are retailers who are hosting rides specific. Any other questions from everyone on the call for Dawn while we have her?
This is Carrie. I don't necessarily have a question, Dawn. Thank you for the presentation. It's awesome. I work for Elliptigo. Some of you know who we are. Ironically, my company, well, it's not my personal company, but we have a tremendous amount of women who own Elliptigos and really push we have a global Elliptigos riders club across the globe, and several thousand members, most of which are women. So I'm going to present to them. I've known about the ride before. We haven't done a specific event with Elliptigo around this, but I would like to go ahead and present it to the club and invite our Facebook group. We have 5,000 plus members. I mean, we're still a small, very small fish in the big pond. But I think that we have one of the better round of where women really take ownership in cycling, because it's a unique kind of product. Dawn, we also had Elliptigo people compete in the PvP. We actually hold a Guinness record of LEL and PvP. We had 7 Elliptigo riders finish the PvP, which is, as Dawn knows, is wicked hard. A lot of randonneers. So it's something that a lot of our customers like to do and support. So I think that there could be a really good tie-in here for us, because a lot of times Elliptigo people feel like they're on their own and not part of the cycling industry. And I think that that's not cool or fair. I think everybody who rides a bike is a bike, right? So doesn't matter what you ride, you're outside. So I like to try and integrate as much as I can into these type of events. So I'll send you an email and see what we can do to kind of make a little fun joint venture as well.
Thank you. I appreciate and welcome the collaboration. And I actually will tell you, when you said elliptical, when I finished PBP, I was riding in with one of the elliptical riders, and it was, yeah, I do have a photo of them with the bikes, but anyways, but I'd love to
Yes.
clip. It was pretty amazing. I mean, pretty amazing that it was very inspiring. So, but thank you. We appreciate the collaboration with you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dawn. Appreciate it.
Oh, that Carrie, thanks for being here. I love that. I love when we get connected. This is the magic that happens. Anything else while we have Dawn? Dawn, this presentation was really great. Thank you for spending so much time to put it together.
Yeah, thank you. I do appreciate having the platform to share what myself and my team has put together and built. And again, it's just getting out and unifying. And the bike is really just the medium for the connection, right? Doesn't matter what bike you ride. You can ride one with a motor. You can ride, an e-assist or elliptical. It's just movement and then all unifying together. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm very honored to be here to share this, something so close and dear to my heart.
Continuing to grow the sport, engage all the new cyclists who came into our sport over the last 2 years, and continue to capture more. It's events like this that really open up the word cyclist, and we get everyone involved, no matter what age, no matter what demographic, no matter what you look like, shape, size, whatever. It's all color. It's all okay. We will have this recording on the NBDA website and our YouTube channel. We'll be sharing it out as well. Dawn's information, her email address is right there. Yeah, and we do have a Facebook group on the NBDA for women in the bicycle industry. If you're not already a member of that group, please join it. We post updates and events that are happening. And yeah, I guess, Dawn, unless you have anything else to add or anyone else has any other questions, I would just close it up right here tonight. Awesome.
Hey Heather, it's Julia.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I've been trying to find that Facebook group. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can't. Do you have a link for it, or is there a name
Thank you
for
for
it?
asking. Yeah.
I don't know why, but I've looked a couple of times and I'm just not seeing it.
Yes, we will put it in the chat here before we go here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's closed group, so maybe that's why you can't find it. Maybe you need an invitation or something. I'm just pulling it up. It's private, so that might be why.
Got it. It's in the chat.
Oh, thanks. Your fingers are working quicker than mine. Awesome. Thank you, Rochelle.
Heather, I had another question for you.
Yeah.
If you, do you have an email of all the attendees that were on the call?
I think Rochelle does. Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
send you, I can send you links and stuff in the documents if you can just send them to people. I don't want people's personal emails, but if people are open to that, then they can get all the documents and graphics to save people an extra step, if that would help, if people are open
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, definitely we can do that.
Okay.
Be fantastic. Yeah. Thank you, Dawn. Well, thank you so much again. Thanks everyone for joining us. Another fantastic event. Nice to see everyone. I hope everyone has a great evening. And with this, we'll go. Good night. Thanks for joining us. Thank you again, Dawn.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Night.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.